welcome back to another episode of Retro Alliance Gaming. So, today I want to talk about a very special system to my heart. Now, you may be thinking I'm going to be talking about the Wii U, but I am not. Do I love this system? Absolutely. Is it underrated? More than any system in the world except for the Sega Saturn and the TurboGrafx. Very underrated system, but what I want to talk about today is the predecessor of this, which is the Nintendo Wii. Now, this is not my original Wii that I had, but I have had this for a very long time. And I always had a ritual where every time I'm done with the system, like and a new one comes out, if the new one has backwards compatible, like the Wii U did, I would box this up, keep it mint, and then use the next system and move forward. If it's not backwards compatible, then I have them all hooked up, which right now I have like 13 systems hooked up. It's absolutely insane. Anyways, the reason I want to talk about the Wii is, believe it or not, it is the 10th anniversary of the Wii. I think this actually just passed by, but I realized how old I felt. 10 years.
Same.
This came out in 2006, and my god, that makes me feel incredibly old. Not only did that come out in 2006, but the Xbox 360 and then the PS3, Xbox 360 came out, I believe, right around or before that. The PS3 came out the same night as the Wii, from what I'm aware of. Anyways, I had a really cool experience and a cool story with the system I want to share with you. Now, a lot of people will talk shit about the Wii, and they'll say, oh, it's not a real gamer system, or, you
Bullshit.
know, they left the gamers behind. And the only reason they said that is because it didn't have the power that the Xbox had. But you know what? People clearly liked it. It sold over 117
Or that the
million.
games are too kiddie.
Yeah, it was like the #1 selling system next to the NES for Nintendo. And they said the games are too kiddie. And the thing is, I want you guys to know that that is not the case with this system. This is not what I'm going to be talking about today. I'll do a review later. But this system is amazing. It's not just some gimmicky motion system. The motions are amazing. The hidden gems on this system are like Miramasa, the Demon Blade. I could literally go on a list forever. Are brilliant. There are so many great games, and I have so many great memories that I want to share with you with this system. So, putting my beautiful system up here, my light black. I love the system so much. It has the blue
He treats
light
it more
on the
tenderly
front.
than me.
It's so wonderful. I know this. It's just sad, Randy. That's just sad, Sandy. Okay, so anyways, we're going to go back to around 2005. I was working for a company called Citibank with my brother Derek, and I pretty much had a job where I got yelled at all day, which I now think was preparing me for my future, because that seemed to be a common thing. But in between calls, sometimes we would get delays, sometimes up to 3 or 4 minutes, which, to be honest with you, I was fucking thankful for. And whenever I got these delays, I would normally either search online or I would be reading a magazine, because there was only so many things we can see. They would allow us to go on the websites, and I was reading a magazine and I saw the next generation of systems. Now, mind you, I had the Dreamcast, I had the GameCube, I had the Xbox original black, and I had, I'm not going to say one, I fucking hate that name so much, and I had the PS2. So at this point, I saw the Xbox and the PS3, and I thought they looked so weird at the time. I was like, this doesn't even look like a game system, it looks like a computer. Anyways, I'll go into the PS3 later, but I didn't get a love affair with the PS3 until maybe 5 years ago. I refused to buy it because it was $600, and there wasn't a lot of launch titles, although I love the system now. But anyways, going back, I was working my butt off, and I found out about the Nintendo Wii. Now, I didn't know a whole lot about the system in particular, but what I knew, I didn't know about the graphics that were built into it, but what I knew was that it was unique. It was something that Nintendo was doing that was different. Because the one thing about Nintendo is they were always willing to take a risk and do something that could make or break them, and that's what makes great games, is people who are willing to go out there and try things. That's why there's so many great games in the 90s, and games nowadays are always trying to play it safe. So the thing is, when I saw the motion controls and I saw that you could hold the sword in your hand, or you can be that gun that you're shooting, or you can play tennis or whatever it is.
Even though you could technically do that with the Dreamcast.
Yeah, which technically you could do that with the Dreamcast, but that would be another video altogether. They started motion, but anyways, the Wii is where it got revolutionized, and boy did they get away with it. Now let me put it this way. So my plan, my first next-gen system of this generation was the Wii. Second system I got was the 360, and the third was the PS3. When this system was getting ready to launch, I don't know if you guys remember, or any of you who were watching this were there at the time, but after the launch of this system, you could not find a Wii in a store for like a year and a half. Literally sold out everywhere. It was absolutely insane. So what did I do? I wanted to pre-order this, and at the job I worked at, I got incentives for selling and for doing things or making extra money, just certain incentives, and I got a Best Buy card for $300, excuse me, and the system was $200, and that was enough for that and one game. I just need to add a little bit of tax. So I had to work this day, so I went up to my ex's brother at the time, I think it was Patrick, and I said, dude, can you wait outside at Best Buy for me? You have to go there at 7 a.m. and I will be there when I get off of work, which is 7 p.m. That's already 12 hours, and I still have to say thank you to Patrick for doing that for me. So he did this. I'm sitting at work, I'm making these calls, and I'm getting so excited. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then I left work and I went down there to get in line, and there was a line around the freaking block, and we were like maybe number 8 to 10, somewhere in that range. So what did I do? I sat there, I hung out, I brought a ton of covers, a ton of jackets. The one thing that was going on that was so intense was it was absolutely freezing cold, okay? And when I say cold, I mean cold. It was below zero at this point, and I was freezing my ass off. And I remember Patrick came, and my ex-Raylene came back and forth, and I sat there in line hanging out with everybody. We were having a blast. We even got to go in Best Buy and try the system for the first time. I remember picking up the Wii controller and thinking, this is the weirdest controller I've ever seen. And at first I was kind of like, but it felt really comfortable. And I remember playing Wii Sports just for a second because I didn't want to ruin the experience when I got home. And when I moved it with the tennis and it was going, I thought to myself, wow, this is a new way of playing game. It's like, it's not virtual reality, but it adds that extra aspect of gaming to it where it moves with the motion of your hands. This was a huge deal back then. I mean, you didn't even have a lot of touchpads or anything. I mean, you did, but not a lot. You can turn it, you can do everything. So anyways, long story short, we hung out in this line all night, and it got to the point where a newscast actually came through. Now, when the newscast came through, they came up and they were asking people what was going on. Now, ironically, right down the freaking street, I don't know whether it was a Target or what it was, but they were having a midnight release for the PS3, and it was $700, okay? That's just for the system. So I figured I'd get that later. What happened? All those people who got the PS3s, or maybe they got them before, I'm not even sure, but they started driving through the freaking parking lot of Best Buy and going, hey losers, look at you losers, you Nintendo fanboys, blah 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 blah. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so we're all waiting out here to play this amazing system that we want to get. We're just hanging out having fun, and these guys are driving by at 3, 4 in the morning to call us losers, yet they have the time to take out of their day to do all of this. I'm like, oh my god, these guys are ridiculous, right? They were even trying to scalp systems. Literally, they were selling PS3s for $1,000 to $1,500. At one point, one even sold for like over $3,000. It was insane. So when the newscast got there, they knew that people were selling these systems. And there were people in the line. One guy came up to me and offered me money. He said, hey, I will give you $500 right now for your Wii if you give me just the ticket to buy it. I'm like, nope. He said, I will give you $750 if you will let me buy this. Nope. Nothing in the world was going to prevent me from getting this system. He was messing with the gamer, and that was not going to happen. So I could have made 3, 4, 5 times the profit if I wanted to. I didn't. I could have bought 2 and sold 1. I also didn't do that. So we're dealing with scalpers. I'm dealing with all this stuff. And the newscast lady comes up to me and she's like, so how you guys doing today? It's freezing out. I'm like, yeah, it is. She's like, so let me know why you're here. Are you planning on reselling the system? I'm like, no, we are not. We are all gamers in this line, and we have been standing here endlessly. We are waiting to pick up this awesome Nintendo system, pick up the brand new Zelda Twilight Princess game, Wii Sports, and I can't remember, I think Red Steel at the time. And anyways, I got to be on the news, so with this whole experience, I actually got to talk on the news, and I told them about my favorite games and how excited I was, and they asked me why I wanted to get the Wii and what I thought about Nintendo in this generation, and I got to share everything, and it was amazing. So anyways, moving forward past, there was a lot of other cool stuff that was happening during this time, and there was a lot of rude stuff, like I said, people driving by. One person threw a milkshake at somebody just to drive by, and I always thought those people were honestly just losers, but nothing was going to ruin the experience for me or anybody in that group. We all became friends. We were like frozen popsicles that were bonding together, literally, because if we hugged, we weren't moving because we were stuck to each other. It was that freaking cold. So it gets to morning time, and I have to take a piss, and all the Best Buy people show up, and I know they're about to open the door, and I'm sitting here going, oh my god, I gotta pee, I gotta pee, I gotta
Interesting.
pee.
I haven't heard this part of the
Yes,
story.
I gotta pee, and I'm sitting here, and I'm talking to, I'm waiting for my girlfriend's brother to show up, and I'm like, dude, I have to pee, I can't leave this line, and the other people were like, hey, you can just go, we'll hold your spot, and they were my friends. I'm like, okay, well, when Patrick gets here, he's gonna step in here, just please hold it, don't step in without me. And if I wasn't in line when that door opened, I would have been screwed, but I literally had to pee more than anything in the world, so I ran around the freaking corner trying to find a bathroom. There was no bathroom anywhere for me to find, so screw it. I found a private place, hidden away, and I took the longest pee of my life. I swear to God, it felt like I was peeing for an hour. I'm like, oh my God, hurry up, please, please, want to get my Wii, oh my God. And you could imagine how cold it was, okay? Turtle, shrunk in its shell. It was freaking cold. So, anyways, I peed, I ran back, and then the doors were opening just in time. I was numb, I couldn't feel my fingers, I couldn't feel my face, I couldn't feel my brain. I thought I was gonna die.
Can you ever feel your brain?
Not really, no. All of a sudden, the doors open, and I swear to God, it was like the clouds were parting, and Jesus like, what up, motherfuckers?
Says the agnostic Wiccan.
Yeah, so I walked into the store, and there were all these people sitting around this table, and there was a huge stack of Wiis, and there were Wiimotes, and extra nunchucks, and all of the games. And I walked up, and they're like, ticket please, and I give the ticket, and they handed me a Wii, and I grabbed this system, and I was like, I could not believe it. I was just holding it for dear life. And the money I had, it came with Wii Sports, and I bought Zelda Twilight Princess and Red Steel, which kind of a disappointing game, kind of shitty, but didn't matter. Nothing was going to stop me from being excited this day. When I got that system, I walked out. They had security walking people to their cars because somebody was going to get mugged. It was a crazy night. On my way to the car, I had a guy offer me, again, $700-800. He said, right now, pulling out cash. And I thought I could do this and then buy another Wii and then have a ton of money left. But then I had this feeling that the system wasn't gonna, it was gonna be rare, and money wasn't what I wanted. I wanted the game system, so I just said no. I was fine, our bills were paid. And I got my Wii, and when I got it, I drove home, walked into the house. I literally, you think I would have played the system? I didn't. I laid right down in bed, and I crashed out, literally holding my Wii. I'm not joking you. I had the cover around me. I'm such a freaking idiot, and I just laid there like this, and I didn't want anybody to steal it. I was all freaked out, and I just laid there, and I fell asleep, and Patrick was like, dude, we're gonna play. I'm like, we're playing when I wake up. Night. And I just kind of slept, and then I woke up. I had the next day off of work, and I'm like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And I'm waking up really, and everybody else, and then we run out there, and I took the system, and I hooked it up, and I put it into the TV, and I grabbed the Wiimote, and I swear to God, the experiences I had were so great.
Unfortunately, I was not there for that.
No, she was not there. This was a long time ago.
Grade.
Yeah, you were in 6th grade. You were, God, you were, do you know what year you got a Wii?
No, but it was one of the earlier years.
Yeah, because you had a white Wii, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
We also did GameCube at the same time, so.
I played Twilight Princess. I thought it was amazing, and then I remember playing Wii Sports forever. I played tennis, I played golf. I got so good at golf that I was actually able to play it in my bathroom with the door shut. I'm not kidding you, because it was Bluetooth, so when you hit, it was a certain way you had to hold your arms and lean up and swing and stop just perfectly, and I would get the perfect hit every time. My brother came over, Derek. He wasn't really sold on the system until him and Ashley started playing, and then they're like, oh my god, this is really fun. And anyways, the thing about it is it brought back that childhood feel, and I loved it. I was so excited, and I had so much fun, and I've had a love affair with this system ever since then. Since then, this system has given so many games. People will bitch again and say, oh, there's all these stupid motion games, or oh, there's all these crappy third-party games like Eminem Beach Party, shovelware. Well, do you know what? The NES, 60 to 70% of the library was shovelware. All systems get shovelware. The thing was, though, there were some amazing games on this system, and it went from just this fun motion-based system to being this core system where I can play so many different kinds of games. And the best part about it was when I got my 360, I had the best of both worlds. I had the HD gaming and the more modern graphics, but then I was able to go back to this, and because of Nintendo and the Wii, we got games like Pandora's Tower, The Last Story, and Xenoblade, these huge open world RPGs that were almost a generation behind but still ahead of the last generation. So it was like this weird middle ground where you got to see all these intricate games. And anyways, this system was absolutely amazing, and that's pretty much my story on me getting my Wii. All I have to say is I don't regret a single minute of it. I may have been freezing, I may have been cold, there may have been a bunch of douchebags, everything else, but at the end of the day, I had so much fun, I did not stop playing it. I probably played Wii Sports for months on end, and Twilight Princess for 100 hours. But anyways, that's my story on the Wii. So yeah, just happy 10th anniversary, Nintendo Wii, you wonderful, wonderful system. You guys watching, sorry if the video was a little long, it's a little nostalgic.
When isn't? Yeah, your video's long.
Tell me about your first experiences. Maybe when you first got a Wii, tell me something exciting, or maybe tell me about your first system, like a system that you got that you were really excited about, or any kind of stories you have. Please put them below. We would love to listen to them. Other than that, stay tuned for our Splatterhouse review coming up with a very special guest of mine who is an awesome friend, and we will see you next time.